Hi everybody, welcome back. We're back here at the winter layout and we're going to start doing some of the scenic work on this now. We're going to build a hillside and down into a river section. Don't forget to check out my channel members who are scrolling down here now. Their links are down below, do check them out. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. We're going to start in this section now, so I'm going to build a little hillside here. And then it's going to go down into a valley further on down. So the method I like to use is I'm just putting a bit of card here to act as a base. And then I'm going to put some cardboard formers, just like that, into place. So I'm going to stick these into place. A little bit of glue, a little bit of masking tape, just to hold them in place. And that will give me the shape of the hillside. And then in between it, I'll put some old plastic, scrunched up newspaper, anything like that, just to give it a bit more form, and then go over the top with Plaster of Paris. Now it's important when you're using this that you use dry, clean cardboard and plastic and newspaper and everything. You don't want anything that food's been in contact with, because you could end up then attracting vermin and bugs and everything into your layout, which will start eating it from the inside out and possibly chewing up your electrics as well. So I'm going to carry on and do that. I'll show you the framework and then we'll do the Plaster of Paris. I have done other videos on this, and I'll link that up below and at the end and down below, on different methods of making hillsides. This method, using wire mesh, using Celotex. This is my favorite method. I think it's simple, it's easy, it's quick, and it's quite effective. So I'll get on, put these formers in, and then I'll come back and show you that when it's done. There you can see I've got the form of my hillside going down into the valley, and up along the side here. You can see where the cardboard formers are just in. In between that I've got some bubble wrap, and then in places I've got some masking tape just to hold it in place. So you can see it's all quite cheap at this point. Now we're going to go over that with some plaster cloth. Now one thing to note with this when you're putting it on is one side will feel smooth and one side's a bit rougher. So you want the rougher side up. And to do that you simply put in some water, let the excess drip off, put it where you want it, press it down and just rub it smooth. Now you will find the first layer is a bit tricky, but this will go hard and make a shell, and then you go over it with a second layer. I usually find 2 layers of plaster cloth is more than enough to create your hillside. So I'm going to carry on with this, put on the first layer, and then I'll come back and show you the result. There's the first layer, plaster bandage on. It's already started to go hard, so about another half an hour, be ready for the next layer. When you're putting it on, you want to overlap it by 50%, so first section, then halfway over the next section, and just layer it. It just adds strength and gives a better bond. Also, you may want to wear gloves when you're doing this, because the plaster can be quite caustic and cause skin irritation. You notice on here where I've put lights in, I didn't actually glue these in place yet because I knew I had to do work behind it, so I've left them unglued so I could lay them down, because if you have this sort of thing when you're working behind, you are going to end up knocking it and breaking it. So it's just something to be thoughtful of when you're doing your layout, when you know you've got work to do, you know, sort of plan ahead, saves any breakages. So I'm going to let this dry now for about another half an hour, and I'll go back over and do another layer, and I'll show you the next stage. That's the second layer of plaster cloth on now. So as it's drying, you can take a paintbrush, dip it in some water, and just brush around any of the holes that are still exposed, and that'll just help fill the plaster into the gaps and smooth out the edges of the plaster. So we'll let that dry. All the holes aren't going to be filled in, but when it's dried I'll come back and show you the next step. Here's 2 layers of plaster. It's been left a couple of hours, it's now nice and hard. You can see there's still a few holes showing through from the mesh on the plaster. So what I've got here is I've got a mixture of water and some plaster. It can be polyfiller or something like that. It's a very milky mixture, you don't want it too thick. And all you do with this is you just take it and paint it on. You may have to do a couple of coats of this, and it just goes around and it fills any holes in, and it helps smooth out any rough edges on the plaster of Paris. So usually 1-2 layers of this, and all the holes are filled in and you've got a nice smooth surface. So I'll carry on doing this and then show you when I've got it complete. That's a couple of coats of the plaster wash on now. It's all nice and hard, it's all set. You can't see any of the plaster cloth showing through, and it's a nice surface now for doing some scenery bits on. So the last thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some brown paint, paint it all brown, and then it'll be onto the scenics next time. There's the brown on now for the ground cover. So as I say, it's just cheap brown paint, it's just poster paint brown. You get it in most pound shops, dollar stores, that sort of place. It's perfect for this sort of thing. So I'll leave it there now. I'm going to carry on and do the other side up into the town scene. Same method again. And then that'll be all ready, and then we can come back next time and have a look at doing some scenic work along here to bring it to life. So there's this section now ready for scenics. Need to continue on here, complete this side as well using the same method. So when we come back, we'll be looking at putting scenery on here. It's going to be a snowy scene, so we're going to have some grass with snow, melted snow, snow-covered trees, that sort of thing on here. Going down into the valley. Not sure what I'm going to do here yet, but we'll just develop that as we build the scenery across. Also need to continue work on my layout here. Hopefully putting the inclines in soon, so lots of stuff coming here on the channel. If you survived this long, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for me, and also check out my channel members. Very thankful for their help that they give me. So I'll pop a video here, and subscribe button in the middle. So as I said, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.